Hi, my name is Cadence and welcome to Still I Grow. This is a space rooted in honesty, where we let go of the need for perfection and give ourselves permission to meet life as it is. Everyone's stories carries moments of challenge, moments that reshape the way we see ourselves and the world around us. These moments don't break us, they build us. That growth is rarely ever linear, but rather a conscious choice to continue becoming. This podcast is for those navigating uncertainty, finding meaning in complexity, and choosing to grow, even when it feels uncomfortable. No matter where you are in the journey we call life, still I grow. Glad to have you here. Welcome to the second official episode of Still I Grow. If you haven't already, go check out last week's episode, our first official episode. If you don't already know me, I recommend that you check that episode first, so that y'all can get to know me a bit better. And even if you do already know who I am, that episode gives a great look into what I do here at Still I Grow. Our website is also officially live. That is linked in the description of this video, as well as in our Instagram bio, which is still.igrow on Instagram. Today, I'm going to be talking about myself as an actor and an artist, how I started, why I love being an actor, and as well, I'll outline some future topics in future episodes about acting. To note, you will never hear me refer to myself as an actress. Though I am female, I don't believe that art should be gendered or segregated based on gender. All actors are storytellers, and that doesn't change if you identify differently. I just wanted to get that out of the way because that's something I mention a lot, and I've had people correct me and they're like, "You're an actress." No, I'm an actor. We all are. Actor, storyteller, you don't need to gender it. It's the same thing. Let's get right into it. So let's talk about where I started. I grew up as a dancer. I had a 6-year career as a competitive Irish dancer growing up till the age of 10-ish. And then I tried out rugby. That's because my older brother at the time, when he was in high school, he was playing rugby and I thought it looked so cool. So I did that for 2 years after I quit dance. And then COVID hit. During, I'd say, probably 2021 or whenever the world was opening up again, I came to the realization that my passion did truly belong in the arts. So I got involved with school drama programs, I auditioned for the best performing arts high school in my province, I got accepted, and now I'm in my final year at that program because I'm a senior in high school. And now I'm headed off to post-secondary. I haven't really made a decision yet, but currently it's between going to acting school in Toronto or Vancouver. Big decision to make, especially as someone from Calgary, but I have some time, so hopefully that decision will be made by April. Who knows? I want to talk about why I love acting, and I think this provides a good baseline so you guys can understand who I am as an actor and why I love it, because sometimes it's hard to understand why, and also some of you might not be actors or don't know me at all, so I think it provides a great baseline to who I am as an artist. Because of my dance background, performing has always come natural to me, but it was through acting where I was able to find true appreciation and connection to the art of performing. Getting to be a storyteller is a privilege. I say this all the time. It is on every bio. It's on my personal Instagram, the podcast Instagram. It is everywhere. And that's because it's not something everyone wants to do or gets to do. I carry that sentiment with me into every rehearsal or workshop that I do. Because it's about acknowledging the fact that not everyone gets to do what I do. And so it reminds me to go into my acting projects with a lot of care, empathy, and use the stories that I'm creating to make other people feel seen. My hope for my acting career is that, and it says this on our website, but I think it's also important that you hear it from me as well, that through the stories that I share with y'all on screen and on stage, that I can make people feel seen, heard, and validated. I'm a firm believer in the fact that everyone's story is worth telling. Why? Well, we have so much to offer each other, and sharing these stories through the arts, a medium with quite literally endless possibilities, that we will discover new things about one another, and that makes us closer than we think. because we share more similarities than we think. The human experience looks different for everyone, and that is one of the reasons it's important to share our stories, to build bridges between each other and build those connections, especially when in today's world I find it feels like all we do is put up walls between each other. So I hope that as an actor and as an artist, that I continue to build bridges and build connections with people, to kind of make a movement to not build walls. Like literally. Just I think it's so important that we all know what each other has been through. I think that just makes us care a lot more about each other when we know about each other. And I think doing that through the arts is something that I find so beautiful and something I'm so grateful to be a part of. In that same hand, I also love that acting requires empathy. Empathy is a huge part in character building, and in order to play a character properly, you have to empathize with their situation. I know in the last show that I just did, my character was a total dickhead. Ask anyone that saw that show, or if you saw the show, you would know. I was a fucking asshole in that. One of the requirements of this character was at the end of Act 1, I had to scream in a 6-year-old's face. Let me tell you, when I got told that during table, that was a fucking hard thing to accept. I walked into that rehearsal when we did it, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And people were like, you're gonna have to. And in that moment, I needed to remember that me, Cadence Goche, is not screaming at this child. It's my character. And that was one of the things that kept me very grounded in that character, was like, okay, it's not you doing it, it's your character doing it. It's okay. B, this child is an actor who understands why I have to scream at them. They're not just put here for no reason. They're told why I'm doing this, and so they understand. And C, my character was overstimulated in a sense. Now, that's not an excuse to yell at a child at all. I mean, in the way where I had to empathize with his situation and the problems he was facing internally and externally to fully grasp the pressure that he was under in that situation and what led my character to scream at that child. So again, using that empathy as a tool to character build is something that is so important to have as an actor, and I don't think we really realize it right away necessarily, but it's something that I have witnessed in other people and myself over the almost 5 years I've been an actor so far, and still in my early days, so there's a lot to learn. I love playing dudes. This is something I was very excited to mention on here. Playing male characters, in my perspective, with the male characters that I've played, which this is a lot, it gives me more room to be silly and play around, and the costuming is very different from what I normally wear. So it makes me feel fully immersed in playing that different character, and I think like gender bending is so cool. I'm like one of those people where if I sign a contract for a show, I'm just like, I don't care, like make me whatever character you want me to be, sort of thing. I'm not very picky because I like to experience everything. So that's why I've gotten to play a lot of men, is because I've opened that doors for myself, sort of thing. And I've just been like, hey, I don't care if I play a man or a woman. And I'm very glad that I do that because it's so fun and it provides me with such a great learning opportunity. Kind of in that same sentence, seeing what life is like through another lens is something I love about acting. Even if the script is more fantastical, there is still real-world problems and issues that can be worked through in table and through performance. I know a couple years ago, I did a show called She Kills Monsters. If anyone remembers that, they might not, that's okay. But it's about a girl basically living in a D&D game. So a lot of it is so fantastical. The fight choreo in that was amazing. I played, that was my first time being fight captain, but in that show, I also played a psychotic fairy. Like, there was so many cool things. We had these dragon head props, and even though it was very, very fantastical, there was issues in it that we could uncover through the script about sexuality, about becoming as a teenage girl, about grief. So there is always something to find in every script. Sometimes it might be harder to find it, but I promise you, in every single script, there is an underlying real world story. And that's something I absolutely love. I also love acting because it keeps me on my toes. So new scripts, new stakes, new characters, new cast dynamics. I have to remain flexible. That's like a requirement. You have to be flexible and you have to be able to adjust to things on the fly. Especially like in auditions. I know a lot of my friends who are actors. We've all done auditions. And when you go into an audition room, you might be very, very prepared. But you could get a redirection that throws you off your rocker and you go, what is this? There was, who was it? One of my teachers, he was a professional actor for like 25 years. And he got a redirection in an audition one time that said, do it like cream soda. So it's really up to the actor to decide what that means in the context of that audition. And so being able to adjust to things like that is something that I've learned and I'm still learning and probably will learn throughout my career forever and ever. But it's also, I like that demand to be flexible. It's also demanding physically, mentally, and emotionally. And that's something that's really hard, I think, for non-actors and non-artists, because you might just think, oh, you do that for a week, you perform for a week and whatever. But when you go into longer runs, like 2 weeks, and even just like the before process, the auditions is exhausting. The staying late at rehearsals 2 to 4 times a week is exhausting. And especially as a high school student, you're balancing a full palette of school plus this, and it's a choice, but it is still physically, mentally, and emotionally demanding. And that kind of intertwines with the life lesson of the work or the art that you produce is only going to be as good as the work and time that you put into it. I know that's a life lesson, but it's something that I've truly seen and learned through acting. Because basically, the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. So if I'm not willing to work hard for something or dedicate time towards something, I won't get the result that I want. And I hold myself to very high standards as an actor, and I've had adults who are professional actors tell me like, hey, you're okay. Like, so sometimes I fight with myself about that, about being too harsh. But truly it's just because I want a certain result and I know the work that is required to get that result. And I think that goes, again, for all things in life, but I've seen that a lot as an actor. The more work you put in, the better a result you're going to get. Let's talk current moments. What am I up to right now? What am I doing? So last week, I worked on a project for High Performance Rodeo. It's a really well-known arts festival in Calgary. I was invited to be a guest artist for their 10-minute playfest, where you get a line, 1 to 2 props, and a full 24 hours to make a 10-minute play. So our team stayed up till about 4 a.m. I got home at 5. Because I was driving people home. So stayed out till 4 a.m. at the studio, making the play, got home at 5, slept for 2 hours, and then went back the next day downtown to the Workland Center for 9:30 because we had our tech time at 9:30. Because you do get tech in those 10-minute plays, but your tech slot is literally half an hour, which is a crazy little time. So it's very exhausting. And then later on that day, we performed. If you go on High Performance Rodeo's Instagram, I think it's like HP Rodeo. Is their Instagram? I don't know. That's my guess. You can see a reel and you might spot me in it. Because I certainly did. And it was very cool. Very wild, very new, and very fun. It's definitely exhausting to only get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep in the span of like 48 hours, but it is something that I'll never forget. I got to meet new people, perform in the beautiful Martha Cohen Theatre at the Workland Center in downtown Calgary. If you've ever been in that theater, it is so incredibly big and beautiful. So I'm grateful to work on a new stage. And I was just overall grateful that I got to work on that project. You have to be invited to that sort of thing. And so I am very lucky that I was in that position to be an artist this year because it was so incredibly fun and the team that I worked with was insanely amazing. So that was a fun thing. Currently, like right now, I'm working as an assistant stage manager for a theater company in Calgary. I wanted to see what the production side of things is like. Or the other side of the table, so to speak, because at rehearsals, your production team sits on one side and the actors are on the other. And I've always been on that other side with the actors. So I kind of wanted to see what it's like being over here, what it's like with the technical aspects of things. It's also because I got fucked over in casting in my last school show, which as a senior is incredibly heartbreaking. But I made this decision with someone on that production because we were talking about how I needed a challenge. And that just wasn't the show that was going to challenge me. A lot of the things in that I already have the ability to do, and it was between one thing that I've already done and a new total experience that can get me more skills. So I chose that totally new experience. This spring, majority of it is learning like more technical aspects of acting and performance and art. So not only am I currently an assistant stage manager, but I'm also designing a show for a friend, which is something I've never gotten to do, but it's so fun that I have this opportunity. I've been able to play, learning like actually how to draw things and making design plans. It's so fun. And I still get to do the things that I love, like script analysis, even with designing. So I really, really have loved that. My designs will hopefully be done by the end of the month. That's my goal. I just love this opportunity because I think in both the theater and film industry, you kind of have to be a jack of all trades. You have to be able to offer up other skills besides being a good actor. And the fact that I'm getting these opportunities now, so early in my career, is incredibly important to me. And that's something that I'm so excited to do. And I'm excited to pick up on new skills and learn new things that I haven't learned before. So that is what I'm up to currently. Looking ahead to further episodes about acting, we'll talk about shows that I've done, deep diving into how I felt working on them, the cast dynamics, script work. I might even show you some of my script work. I point like this is a script. It's just my hand. Scripts, because there's scripts on the floor over here. Performance, stuff like that. I'll also review some films and some theater shows. Theater shows will be specifically in Calgary. I know I'm going to HPR at some point in the next 2 weeks to watch some shows, so there might be a review on that. And then we'll also discuss different acting techniques and performance styles, some that I have tried, some that I haven't tried, and some that I'm looking forward to exploring. So yeah. As you move on with your day, or whatever you were doing before this, take a moment to sit with what resonated with you in this episode and leave the rest behind. Remember, growth doesn't have to be loud or obvious, so take life at its own pace. Meet life where it is, and always choose growth. Thanks for listening. You can follow us on our Instagram and TikTok, which is @still.igrow. Our Spotify, it's a little hard to find. I tried to find it on my Spotify today and it was hard, but looking up Still I Grow podcast, it should show up. And our website is, again, linked in the description of this video as well as in our Instagram bio. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, follow, and hit the bell icon so you get updates when I post, which is weekly. And I'm very happy to have you join me today. Have a good day.